watch this, pop off and pop shit. Dog, I see everything, so come and try to stop this. Take your best shot at the head or at the heart. See, I control everything, I'm ready for the dump. Let it spark.
Yo, what up, what up? It's your boy Hip Hop Gamer. You already know what it is. Like, I'm about to introduce you guys to someone that said the magic words during a games industry biz interview that I came across. This dude, his name is James. Well, actually, I'm gonna let him introduce himself, to you. But first, I want to say, this guy said one word that reached me, and the word was fun. That's all. Like when you said that, James, that it just touched me, man, because growing up, I've been playing games since I was 4 years old, and my grandmother taught me how to play games. So I mean, video games really saved my life coming from where I come from, man. And to hear you talk, well, not to hear you talk, but just to read what the interview was, it was heartfelt, it was amazing, and I love your passion and ambition. So without further ado, introduce yourself, let them know who you are, man.
Sure. Hey, everyone. My name is James Gwertzman. I'm a CEO of a company called PlayFab out here in Seattle. And we do something which most of you probably don't think about. We build a technology that runs the back end, the server side of games. And yeah, we're trying to basically bring the magic back to gaming by making it possible for more creative, more independent studios to compete with the big boys and basically compete on a level playing field with everyone else who's out there.
Now, what I want to ask you is, PlayFab, like, where did the idea, come from? What gave you the ambition to go ahead with this project? What is it? What is it overall?
Yeah, well, so I've actually been working in the game industry for like more than 15 years.
Wow.
I started out making games for the Xbox and the PlayStation. Then for a while there I was making casual games for PC and mobile. I worked at a place called PopCap that made Plants vs. Zombies and Bejeweled for 8 years. I went to China and I helped PopCap bring its games to China. And during this whole time, I've done it because I love games and I love entertaining people and I love. I'm the kind of geek who's always loved both art and technology, and the game industry is really the only place in the world, I think, where technology and computers and coding come together on an equal footing with art and creativity and animation and music. It's just an amazing industry for that. That's why I love it so much. And so I saw in the last couple of years just how much the game industry has been changing. So there's some pretty massive and pretty structural changes. And I watched PopCap, frankly, really kind of struggle a little bit with some of the changes itself because games are changing and it's not enough anymore to just focus on the fun. I think too much of success these days is based on a lot of other factors outside of just making the game fun. And I think that's a shame because it means that smaller, more creative studios, they have to do so many different things to be successful. It's really hard. And so what we're trying to do at PlayFab is we're trying to make it easier. We're trying to help solve a lot of these problems that the game companies have to deal with to allow them to focus more on the core game and more on the fun and not to have to worry about things like server technology and cloud computing and big data and analytics and all these other things that unfortunately are more and more a part of making a modern video game.
Yo, you know what, man? Like, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not sure if you have kids or or if you're married or anything like that. But I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Like, I got so much love for you, dog. Like, just hearing you talk like that is the reason why I became a journalist. Is the reason why I started speaking up, because I really felt the same way. Just from a journalist standpoint, I felt that the fun. Just the fun of games, like forget being cynical and criticizing every little damn thing at the time. Like just actually the enjoyment is why we love what we do, and that's why I was so fascinated by your article. So now that we know what PlayFab is, the word fun. This is one of the main questions I wanted to ask you. The word fun. Why was it so important to you to get that message across to everyone, major studios, independent developers, just the industry itself? Like, what about that word fun made you target everyone using that word?
like you, I grew up playing games, and it's always been a really important part of my life. And I guess I worry that games are starting to pull away from that. I mean, I think for a long time, all we had to worry about was fun, and you had amazing games like Mario 64 or Portal and Portal 2 and Half-Life. I mean, these are amazing games that really had a big impact on me as a gamer. And at least for me, these games, it's more than just escapism. I mean, these games really, put you in a world, and you have this experience that you just can't get any other way. And that's what's so magical about games, is they really transport you to this other reality that you get to be in and experience in a way you can't by just watching a movie or TV or something.
Yeah.
And I think, and I worry a little bit that, like I said, as the game industry is changing, we're kind of pulling away a little bit from this ideal. And I do have kids, and I worry a little bit of what kind of games are my kids going to be growing up playing? Are they going to have access to the same kind of amazing games, that you and I, had access to? And obviously there's a lot of people out there who feel passionately about games and who want to make great games. And we're just trying to help keep the focus on that, and again to not make it about just the technology, but to really focus it back on the creativity.
Now, let me ask you a question. Like, in terms of creativity, which studio, like right now, like currently, that's like really out there active, what studio or what developer mind that you feel fits in line with what PlayFab is all about when it comes to creativity and just simple fun? Forget all the technology, all the other stuff, like, you know what I'm saying, like the quick way to make a dollar type of idea. Forget all of that. I'm talking about from a development standpoint or just a mindset standpoint. Who out there do you feel, fit in line with what gaming is truly all about from a creative standpoint?
Well, I got to call out to Valve here in Seattle. I mean, of all the companies, all the development studios out there, the company that I think is sort of most dedicated to kind of the purity of building the best games has got to be Valve.
Wow, that's amazing.
Their Steam and the Greenlight program, and helping a lot of indie game developers get their games out there in front of audiences. I'm a huge fan of Valve. But what also amazes me is just how many small companies out there are starting to do some amazing work now. I mean, that's what really gets me excited. I was just this weekend, maybe I'm late to the game, but I was playing Monument Valley this weekend.
Oh, yeah, I heard that one. I ain't played that one yet, though.
The whole time. I mean, that game is just so good, and it's so simple, and yet it's so awesome. Maybe I'm kind of a geek about this stuff, but that's the kind of game that really, really gets me excited.
Well, you know what game got me really excited? This game by Ubisoft, Valiant Hearts. And Valiant Hearts, I actually learned a lot because, it deals with war and stuff like that, from back in the day, Great Britain and stuff. But one of the things that I learned playing the game is that I never knew that to fight off an attack of like gas that's being dropped on troops, they would have to urinate in a pad and wear it on their face as a face mask to prevent them from getting sick from the gas that was dropped on them. Like, from a video game I learned this. Like, it was the presentation, wow. Everything is amazing. It's called Valiant Hearts. So I think we both got some games we gotta check out, one another. So, oh my God, I love talking to you already, man. This is incredible. Now, I got another question for you, and this is kind of funny, you know what I'm saying? But who is the best gamer working over there at PlayFab right now?
The best gamer working here?
Yeah. Who's the best gamer that works there?
We're all gamers. I guess the person who's kind of close to the ideals of gaming, I guess probably me, actually. I mean, I'm probably the guy who plays the most games right now. Okay. Office. But literally, everyone who works here is a gamer. Everyone who works here worked in the game industry before coming to PlayFab. Everyone here came at us because they love games.
Perfect. All right, I might have to challenge you to a game or something like that one day. You might have to see where your skills is at. I don't know. Shit, you might beat me in something. I don't know.
No, what's funny with game industry, right? There's so many different kind of games. Like, for example, I'm like a puzzle game guy. I love thinking in games. You know, I'm not a sports game guy. I like shooters, but that's not. Like sometimes they're actually too violent for me. But everyone's different, right? Everyone's got their own thing.
Yeah. So now another question I have for you is regarding Unity. Now,
Yeah.
Unity is extremely popular. Like, you already know that. So what I want to ask you is, when it comes to these game engines, like, you know, major or indie, like whatever it is, like when it comes to these game engines, like what are your plans to make it easier for, like, you know, like developers to get access, you know, to these engines or whatever, to, you know, because what PlayFab represents, it's like a big help for anyone. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to game engines and just having access without breaking the bank, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you guys provide to help out, you know, the creators out there?
Unity is amazing. In fact, just last week, Unity had their big annual conference called the Unite Conference, where they bring together, you know, the most passionate Unity developers in one place. And they just so happen to have it here in Seattle, in our hometown. So I went to Unity for this conference, Unite Conference, the first time, and it was just awesome to see the passion of so many developers, you know, who are big fans of Unity, because it makes it so much easier for them to build games, which is awesome. So we think of ourselves a little bit as like the Unity, but on the back end, on the server side. You know, the invisible stuff you don't usually see because it lives out in the cloud somewhere. And so we support Unity. We have what's called an SDK, stands for Software Development Kit. It's basically a bunch of code and libraries and things that you can download from our website that make it really easy to use PlayFab from inside Unity. But we also have the same. We also have one for Unreal, the game engine Unreal.
Oh, I love Unreal Engine.
I actually got one for. There's another game engine out there called Cocos 2D, which is really popular, especially in Asia and China. And so our vision, our mission is to make it easy to use PlayFab from any of the game engines, no matter which engine you want to use.
Oh, amazing, man! I love how well streamlined your vision was when you came together, putting PlayFab together. I really think that this is going to be something that's a godsend for game creators everywhere, man. And I'm so proud of you and the team, man. It means a lot to me, man. Seriously, like just real quick. Like, you know, my grandmother, she had passed away in 2010, and like I said, she was the one that taught me how to play video games. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother. So just hearing your message and your mission, man, like, yo, I got ideas in my head just to, you know, I want to help out too, man. But we'll talk about that another time. But the next question I wanted to bring up was online gaming in terms of esports. And what I wanted to know is, with esports on the rise the way it is, how can your program, you know, PlayFab, help that market grow even more, from creating the games or even being like a promotional sponsor or engine to help esports grow?